While American airports struggle with 3-hour security lines and hotels sit at 58% capacity, something extraordinary is happening across the Atlantic.
Walking around in Venice can be a challenge, and no wonder. The city gets about 30 million tourists every year.
It's the height of the Spanish summer, peak season for tourists.
Summer is high season for American tourists in Europe, with countless travelers coming to countries like France from June to September every year.
Europe just shattered every tourism record in history. And the reason goes deeper than cheap flights or good weather. Picture this scene from last Thursday. Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport, 6 a.m. The departure board looks like a United Nations roll call. Flights to Bali, Bangkok, Boston, Beijing. Except these aren't departures. They're all arrivals. Thousands upon thousands of tourists streaming into Europe every hour, creating what industry insiders are calling the Great European Rush of 2025. The numbers are genuinely staggering. European tourism welcomed 747 million visitors in 2024, with Q1 2025 already hitting 300 million. That's the entire population of the United States arriving in just 3 months. Hotel occupancy in Barcelona reached 94% in August, forcing the city to convert cruise ships into floating hotels. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Times Square hotels are offering 40% discounts just to fill rooms. Miami Beach resorts have resorted to those buy 2 nights, get 3 free desperation deals you see plastered across every booking site. You know what's wild? Walk through Prague's cobblestone streets at midnight, and you'll find organized night tourism tours specifically designed for the overflow of visitors who couldn't book daytime slots. Restaurant owners in the Czech capital keep their kitchens open until 2 a.m. on weekends, with some bars and clubs serving food until dawn. Not for cleaning, for full service to accommodate the tourist overflow. European governments made the radical choice. While America tightened visa restrictions and increased processing times to 180 days, they eliminated them entirely. Not reduced. Eliminated. The new European digital travel authorization takes 3 minutes to complete and costs €7. Compare that to America's ESTA system, now requiring biometric pre-screening appointments that book out 4 months in advance. Meanwhile, a revolution was brewing in European airports that nobody saw coming. Frankfurt Airport launched Project Lightning, a complete reimagining of international arrivals. No lines, no traditional checkpoints. Instead, passengers walk through what looks like a high-end shopping mall while invisible biometric sensors handle all security and immigration checks. Average processing time from plane to taxi, 12 minutes. At JFK, that same journey averages 2 hours and 45 minutes.
International travel remains going gangbusters, and every year since the pandemic, we've seen that explosive growth in tourism, especially the most popular destinations. So we're talking Rome, we're talking Paris, we're talking London, now Tokyo's in the mix. But the other thing I think is the spread of social media. You want to show off where you've been, all the things you've done, and sort of get that iconic photo. Tourism is the main driver of the economy in a lot of these places. You're seeing some really interesting developments like Galapagos, which has a $200 fee for tourists. That's going to fund the local community, combat pollution, and deal with overcrowding.
The digital nomad explosion tells another part of this story. Estonia's e-residency program now has 2.1 million participants. Portugal's D8 digital nomad visa applications increased by 847% year over year. But here's what the official statistics don't capture. Entire American tech companies are quietly relocating their remote workforces to European bases. Not the companies themselves, just their workers. A senior Google engineer, speaking on condition of anonymity, revealed that roughly 30% of their team now works from European locations while maintaining U.S. employment contracts. The companies know. They just don't talk about it. Croatia's transformation feels almost surreal. The Adriatic nation welcomed 31 million tourists through August. The country has 3.8 million residents. That's 8 tourists for every local. Yet somehow, it works. Dubrovnik installed these AI-powered crowd management systems that redirect tourist flows in real time, sending push notifications to visitors' phones, suggesting alternative routes when certain areas reach capacity. Sounds dystopian, but it actually creates this illusion of spontaneous exploration while preventing total chaos. The European Travel Commission's annual summit last month was particularly telling. Ministers from 33 countries showcased their tourism innovations, from Estonia's digital infrastructure to Greece's 50% tax breaks for remote workers. The American delegation sent only junior representatives. Industry insiders suggest a different reason than scheduling conflicts. They had nothing competitive to showcase. While Orlando's theme parks raise prices 15% annually just to manage declining attendance, Europe builds immersive cultural experiences that sell out months in advance. Copenhagen's culinary scene now represents 8.7% of the city's GDP, with restaurant revenue reaching 2.3 billion euros annually. Let that sink in. Food service has become one of the city's major economic drivers. Reservation platform data shows Americans booking European restaurant experiences 18 months in advance. Not for anniversaries or birthdays, just regular Tuesday dinners. The city responded with Copenhagen After Dark, where Michelin-starred chefs offer midnight tasting menus. Every slot sold out through 2026. Nothing available until March 2027. The way cultural institutions adapted is genuinely impressive. The Louvre extends hours until 9 p.m. on Wednesdays and Fridays, with special evening viewings drawing massive crowds. The Vatican created holographic tours for overflow crowds to experience perfect Sistine Chapel replicas. Barcelona's Sagrada Familia sells construction experience tickets. Tourists pay 200 euros to actually place stones under architect supervision. Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Museum in New York just eliminated its pay-what-you-wish policy. They couldn't afford to keep the lights on.
Tourism has also been a key pillar for growth. It has been the case for many decades, but over the past few years after the pandemic, there's been a boom in traveling, and Spain has really benefited from this. It's one of the most visited countries in the world already after France, and now tourism makes almost 14% of the GDP of the country.
People are redirecting resources. Instead of purchasing cars or purchasing clothes, they are traveling and having a good time.
Most of the increase in tourist inflows is actually in what we call shoulder months, just before or after the summer break. So there's a bit of deconcentration in how these flows are coming to Spain, also geographically. More tourism related to, of course, business tourism, but also rural tourism, also in the north part of Spain.
Think about this infrastructure achievement. The Interrail Global Pass connects every major European city, with passes starting at €212 for 4 days of travel. Miss your train from Paris to Barcelona? Another one leaves within hours. The flexibility is unmatched. Travel across 33 countries with a single pass. Compare that to Amtrak's Boston to DC corridor. 5 daily trains, frequent 4-hour delays, tickets starting at $140 one way. The difference is almost comical. Social media changed everything in ways nobody predicted. TikTok travel content about Europe exceeded 1 billion views under hashtag Eurosummer 2025. Consider Slovenia's underground kayaking in Peka. A TikTok video showing this experience garnered 2.4 million views, with tourists flooding to experience the country's unique underground adventures. The country went from hidden gem to must-visit destination virtually overnight. The medical tourism sector tells perhaps the most striking story. European hospitals created healing hotels, luxury medical facilities that feel more like 5-star resorts than treatment centers. An American patient requiring knee surgery faces $45,000 in costs at home, plus 3-month wait times. The same procedure in Munich, including flights, 2-week recovery in a castle-turned-medical resort, and guided rehabilitation tours through the Bavarian Alps, €12,000 total. Insurance companies started quietly covering European medical travel, though they won't admit it publicly. Greece's approach deserves special mention. The country transformed its economic crisis history into tourist attraction. Abandoned buildings from the 2008 collapse became street art galleries. Former protest sites turned into cultural centers telling stories of resilience. The contrast makes you wonder why we accepted this for so long. Even European winters transformed. Nordic countries expanded their winter tourism offerings, from glass igloos for northern lights viewing to ice hotels and winter festivals celebrating the polar nights. Finland's Lapland region hit 82% hotel occupancy through December, traditionally their slower season. Minneapolis in November, hotels at 50% capacity despite cutting rates in half. The EU's comprehensive sustainability initiatives, from Slovenia being declared the world's first green destination to Copenhagen's rewards for sustainable behavior, seem counterintuitive. You'd expect tourism to plummet. Instead, the opposite happened. Visitors stay longer, spend more, report higher satisfaction. Revenue per tourist increased dramatically in eco-certified destinations. Turns out forcing people to slow down and actually experience destinations works better than racing between photo spots.
He's the CEO of the European Travel Commission. Eduardo, there's a lot happening in the world politically and economically. So is Europe still a top destination for overseas travelers?
Absolutely. It's very much a very attractive destination. And as concerns are rising now, of course, we are seeing some changes in patterns of behavior. However, when we go into the essence of bookings, into the essence of travel forecasts, we see no major change for this upcoming summer. Having said that, we consider that this is the beginning of a new period also for tourism development. We know that all kind of economic factors will definitely affect the visitors' economy, tourism, and definitely tourism flows from America and into Europe, not only from America, but from other continents too.
In Vienna's coffee houses, where the same recipes have survived since 1683, tourist visits have surged, with the venues becoming Instagram hotspots for international visitors while maintaining their traditional atmosphere. The juxtaposition of perfectly preserved history, embracing radical future, shouldn't work, but somehow it does. The leaked minutes from last month's European Tourism Council meeting revealed their actual concern. They're running out of physical space. Draft proposals discuss building floating hotel cities in the Mediterranean, converting decommissioned oil rigs into luxury resorts, terraforming abandoned quarries into underground tourist complexes. They've already broken ground on 3 projects. There's one statistic that keeps American tourism officials awake at night. Europe commands over 50% of global tourism market share, with international visitor spending reaching 573 billion euros. Not just leading, dominating, with travelers not even considering alternatives. The US dropped to 6th place, behind Southeast Asia and somehow Antarctica. Looking at these numbers, at this momentum, at the sheer scale of what Europe has built while others hesitated, they might be right to worry. The window to catch up isn't just closing. For most destinations, it might have already shut.